Hello, I'm Todd Hicks.
And I'm Joe Rimmelsbach.
On behalf of the Department of Plant Pathology, welcome to this week's Turf Tips. Well, Joe, it seems like we went from not even wanting to wear clothes the last couple of days, as hot and muggy as it's been, to almost needing a jacket this morning. This Ohio weather is going back and forth. It seems right now we're in the calm before the storm. The July 4th, the big weekend's coming up for vacations. Lots of people are going to be out playing golf, using your landscapes and lawns. What I'm thinking is now's the time to prepare for the worst. Next week, around July 4th and on past anyways, at least 3 or 4 days in a row, we're going to have some tremendously warm weather. Humidity's going to come in. There's some chances that thunderstorms are talking. All this weather's wet weather anyway, seems to be a little spotty, but prepare now. Dollar spot's always going to be a threat. It seems to be really mild this year, but it can sneak up on you quick. What we're really hearing about are other patch diseases. Brown patch has been hitting people. If it's not hitting you now, it's waiting. If you're making a mistake, if you're testing your fungicides to see how long they're going to go, don't. This is not the time to do that. The other big problem you're getting phone calls and samples, emails, pictures being sent to us, and we've got it here at the Turf Center, is anthracnose. It's hitting hard, but it seems to be staying in the foliage right now. Again, if you're managing any kind of POA, put something down to prevent that being a problem. I'm just telling people to be wary. Maybe it's not going to be that big of a deal. Maybe it's only going to be a day or so of bad weather, but you're going to sleep better over the weekend knowing you're prepared and protected than if we get into something and you start to get hurt and it turns out to be a real nightmare of a mess. What do you see?
Well, I agree with Todd on the golf side that anthracnose, if you're getting rain or you're running wet and you have poor drainage or any drainage issues, and with poania, you're a high candidacy for anthracnose. So be aware of that. Be preventative. I can't stress enough, agree with Todd and his comments, and be preventative. Keep your rates up. Be mindful of keeping short time intervals, especially if you have hot, humid, wet weather. It's very important to stay on top of things because we're still in June. And so we got a lot of summer potentially left, so you want to make sure you really have good conditions. And I've heard many golf courses really are in good shape, and so you want to maintain that and stay ahead of the ball game. On the lawn side, home lawn side, probably one of the biggest things is that we're in incredibly variable rainfall throughout the state. Here in much of Columbus, Central Ohio, areas have had adequate, more than enough water. Parts of the western part of the state, the northeast especially, are running quite dry, but it's very spotty, so it's all over the place. And like Todd mentioned, with the big weekends coming up and use of turf, if you're on the turf a lot for picnicking, partying, mowing more often, whatever, and you're dry, you're at risk of causing some damage to that turf and having brown streaks and lines and damage from wear and equipment. And we're having reports of that. If you are dry, of course, the big thing is to check the soil, work with customers. A lot of times they say they're watering or we got rain. Have them check the soil. Take a spade or a knife, whatever. Dig down a couple inches. Is the soil moist or is it dry? And then that can be a good indicator if you want to do more watering or whatever. Or if there are watering, to see if it's effective, if they're really moistening the root zone. Also on watering, we've had several cases where people have had damage from either spreaders or ride-on applicators or lawn mowers, especially in the heat of the day. Lawns look green, but they're somewhat wilted or under moisture stress, maybe I should say. And with those conditions, there have been some companies that have dealt with brown streaking lines on lawns left from those operations. So just be mindful, like as we're moving into sunny, dry conditions, low humidity, we're losing a lot of water, so this turf will be stressed, and with traffic on it, you may cause some injury. Not going to kill the grass, but it could create some customer service calls. The other thing I want to mention on home lawn applications especially is that you want to maintain your applications. This isn't the time to stop putting down fertilizer or checking for insects or whatever. On the fertilizer side, you want to use a time release, slow release, whatever you want to call it, so that it's released when you get water. So whether it be from rainfall or from irrigation, you'll have fertilizer there for the turf to grow and be healthy. And if it is damaged, you're ready for recovery. So just I want to caution you not just to skip applications. I'm sure you don't want to do, but customers may ask for that, and so you just have to explain the value of having time-release fertilizer available when the grass needs it. It'll be there. Disease-wise, agree with Todd. There's not much going on. The big thing would be two diseases. One is if you have irrigation or high water from rainfall, brown patch, especially in tall fescue, and there's more tall fescue in parts of the state, so that could be popping up. Another are the patch diseases, whether you call it chronic green spot or summer patch, especially on lawns that have excessive thatch, they're bluegrass, they're in stress conditions, hillsides, poor quality soil. We're getting a lot of questions and samples on those. Right now it's hard to deal with those. No fungicide applications are going to really be horribly effective. You want to deepen the root system. All the things we recommend on our fact sheets and information sheets require a whole long program, and it's very complex, so you might want to refer to those and try to post those on our website. So on golf side, one last thing about anthracnose. If you have it or you want to avoid it, don't, again, cut your fertilizer like the lawn potato. You want your POA to be healthy. You don't want to overgrow it in the heat, but you don't want to starve it. So make sure you have adequate fertility to keep a healthy stand of turf on your greens especially. So that's all I have, Todd.
Hey, from us to you guys out there, have a great rest of your week and an enjoyable vacation weekend. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.